Hello, Sunshines, and welcome to Short Game Saturdays. Today, Bon and I are playing Scary Gourmet by Tiny Sam. This short visual novel is part of Itchy's bundle for racial justice and equality. If you would like to follow Bon, check out the link to their channel below. Warning, this video contains strong language. Discretion is advised. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Music. The
Yes.
copyright-free music.
Are you familiar with it?
It's classical music.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the name of it.
All right, well, let's get started.
And it is not on How Long to Beat, so...
No.
Ahead of us was a more eventful night than most, as Halloween drew closer by the hour. Very few children dared to venture to the graveyard our little home was located in. Still, I procured some snacks to keep them occupied should they come to our door regardless. It was always best to be prepared for such eventualities.
That's me living in apartment buildings.
Yeah.
Children? The sound of chopping filled the kitchen, and the windows rattled ever so slightly as wind blew past. The house was dark, but my husband and I had a preference for the darkness, though each for different reasons. I had glaucoma. This doesn't look quite right, but perhaps it will cook down a bit once it's in the oven. I lifted a small cut of pumpkin to my red eyes and blinked over it carefully. I had had pumpkin pie before, of course, but seeing the raw ingredients made me wonder if I'd somehow gotten it all wrong. And on top of that, this needed to be a vegan pumpkin pie, which threw a lot of my limited cooking knowledge out the window as it was.
If I can remember correctly, the filling is vegan already. No, not unless you... Do you have to add eggs to be a binder?
You do, but you can use egg substitute
Like
if you get the right egg substitute, like ground flaxseed or chia seed.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And then for vegan crust, that's a little harder.
Yeah, vegan crust is like the bane of my existence because I can't fucking find it anywhere.
I can make gluten-free crust, but not vegan.
Yeah. I think my vegan friend who is also gluten-free and whose girlfriend is allergic to peanuts can make, I don't know if she can, but, like, she has to make gluten-free vegan pumpkin pie crust. Like, she has to make that herself if she bakes.
Ooh, what if you could make like a walnut brown sugar crust?
You probably could.
That would be tasty, I think.
Walnuts, vegan.
Although if you're allergic to peanuts, then I imagine you can't have walnuts.
It depends because they're technically not the same nut. Like, my niece is allergic to cashews and sunflowers, but I think she can eat walnuts and she can eat peanuts. And then there's Jamie, who's allergic to peanuts, and then my friend Violet, who's allergic to peanuts.
You know what was interesting about Beyond Meat, they have the regular sausages, right? Which are pretty.
Right.
I like. I know that you don't care for them. But they released breakfast sausages, so they actually look like little pork breakfast sausages. So I got them to try, and I was reading the back, and it said that this is made from pea, and if you're alert, and pea is a legume, if you have an extreme legume allergy, and I think it said like peanuts, but I'm not sure, I can't remember, but it's like, then stay away from this, and I'm like,
right,
interesting.
Alright, so there's a raw cashews, raw almonds, there's like all of the nuts except for peanuts, and it's raw cashews, raw almonds, raw walnuts, and pitted dates.
Ew, dates.
Yeah, and apparently it's for cuisine, it says American/French. But it's gluten-free, vegan, and vegetarian.
I like how
So-
we immediately derailed to talk about vegan pumpkin pie.
Listen, we are playing a game about food.
God,
It's not our fault.
I wish I could make you lemon curd, but I would have to find a pretty good egg substitute.
Yeah.
Because
if you look up lemon, like vegan lemon curd, it will...
but here's the thing. Like, the one my sister makes is so fucking good, but it's obviously French, and that means there's a shit ton of butter and there's a shit ton of egg.
Yeah. I mean, you can get... I've been using plant-based butter for a while, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, actually, when I have, like, butter, and I say this with air quotations, on toast, I actually use, Basil has a margarine made from oatmeal. From oat.
Oh, interesting.
That I use, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we derailed. All right.
I already read it.
The rest of the mix was ready, as was the crust in the oven. But the actual pumpkin just didn't seem to be correct.
It is very difficult to make a vegan pumpkin pie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know anymore. How are you supposed to mash a pumpkin anyway? The cookbook says to remove the seeds, but surely a few here and there won't hurt, right?
What if you like took those seeds and then like toasted them to go on top with like a brown sugar?
Yeah, it would be a garnish instead of... Yeah,
also,
that would be good.
Also, this guy's just really cute. He's really cute.
Yeah, it's adorable. Punk's undead.
I'm gonna send you a reel of these people who filmed bats upside down so they look like they're in a tiny goth club.
Oh, I want to see it so much. I love bats.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
With a sniff of the offending fruit, I popped it into my mouth, chewing it over a little. The texture was completely horrid, and the seed pieces were indeed far too crunchy.
That's why you roast them in the oven.
I swallowed and nearly gagged as it traveled down to my stomach, leaving me to shudder from the flavor. Ugh. Oh, that's not good at all. But we don't have time to waste. She'll be arriving in an hour or so.
You needed more time, bud.
Yeah, seriously. Like, you needed to try from, like, the morning, and if you didn't get it right by now, you're lost forever.
Yeah, but, like, should roast the pumpkin first, and then mash it.
Yeah. And then mash it. Like you do squash.
Yeah.
With a sigh, I thoroughly whisked the whole thing together. Thankfully, nobody in our household is much of a picky eater, so a few minor mistakes. Sorry.
I just started choking on air.
I mean, it's kind of timed nicely for this particular situation, so...
So a few minor mistakes when it put out the whole meal. With a click, I popped the whole pie into the oven, wiping some sweat from my brow in the process.
Bats don't sweat.
A creaking carried through the house, followed by the slam of a screen door. With a start, I jumped back to the little workstation at the countertop, trying to stay casual, but unable to suppress my grin as my partner walked into the kitchen, grocery bags ruffling.
Hi, Ghost Dog Man.
Ghost Dog Man. Bonk Daddy.
Bartholomew.
Oh, no, wait, never mind. That doesn't say Bonk Daddy. It says Bone
Daddy.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Well, we found out who the top is. Whew, babe. Got everything you needed from the store. Cauliflower, extra firm tofu, the whole list.
Oh, thank you, Barky. You really saved me on this one. Somehow the main course just completely slipped my mind this morning, and I got straight into making the dessert.
Oh, okay, they did start in the morning.
Then they're failing miserably.
Where's your cookbook?
I know. I guess that's like one of those, like, allrecipes.com recipes where it doesn't tell you how to do anything. It just tells you, hey, here's the recipe, go forth and conquer.
I think like my sister, oh my god, let me look it up while you read this line.
Okay. Of course. We gotta make this whole thing perfect for our little Baela, right?
Baela, like paella?
Like, paella?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
right.
guess their, like, adopted daughter is a food pun. Like, Winkston and Bartholomew.
Oh yeah, so my baby sister was making sticky toffee sauce and like shared a screenshot of the instructions because they're so fake. Make the sticky toffee sauce by putting all the ingredients in the saucepan. Heat up and keep giving a stir. Take off heat when the sauce is the color you want.
What the fuck?
Let stand for a few minutes before serving.
That sounds like in the Great British Bake Off, they have what's called the technical challenge.
Yeah.
And they give you the recipe, but they don't give you like all of the instructions. Like you have to figure it out as you go.
Oh my god! Like they don't give you the proportions, I guess, or whatever.
Well, they'll give you some of the proportions, but for the most part, it's like you have to know how to make this thing before you make it.
Honestly, like there are just some people, like that's obviously done for the sake of the show, but like there are some people who should not be writing recipes because
right.
I just stir it, like heat it until it's the color you want, and I'm like, okay.
All right, it's gonna be blue.
It's like when I was trying to make brown butter shortbread, and it was like, and then cook it until it's like a golden color, and I'm like, it's butter, and it's melted. What do you mean by golden exactly?
Right.
So, anyways.
Yes, but, well, I love you too, hun. A wag of the tail and a peck on the cheek from my favorite Bargist lifted my spirits a good deal.
Cute.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this gay couple. Cute.
So gay. It's also one of the better, the best color combinations.
Actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He held me from behind for a moment, and I let myself rest my head against his chest, swayed back and forth with his rhythm. It had been a stressful day, and preparing for our daughter Baela to come home and had frayed my nerves far more than I could have anticipated. She had left just a few months ago, and while it was nice having the house to ourselves, it felt so much emptier without her here. On top of that, she seemed to be changing pretty quickly. Just a couple of weeks after starting the semester, she stated she preferred vegan meals going forward.
I mean, you're a bat and he's a ghost.
She didn't ask us to make her coming home dinner vegan as well, and had even emphasized that she was fine with us following our own diets. But ultimately, she was our daughter, and we wanted to support her no matter what.
That's a good attitude for her to have, honestly.
Yeah.
And not common among the vegans that I've met, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's very few vegans or very few people I've met whose like dietary changes in life or whatever have been like accepted by family and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, also I mean in terms of like her respecting their diets.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's very few vegans who I've known who've respected other people's diets as well. So.
I could count on one hand.
I can count on 2 fingers.
I'm glad she was willing to come by for dinner tonight, especially with all those new friends she's been making.
Aw, you feeling left out, Daddy?
Mm-hmm. And a new girlfriend, apparently.
Ooh.
Should I do like a Scooby-Doo voice for this guy?
No, please do not. You do not know how much I hate Scooby-Doo.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
I actually really don't like any of the I don't really like the old Hanna-Barbera or whatever it was fucking called cartoons.
That's fair. I mean, I grew up with all of that, but like I understand.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff is real rough.
Yeah. Although like some of like the more recent renditions of Scooby-Doo have looked kind of funny when I've like seen people describe it.
Have you watched Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island?
No, but isn't there like a crossover with Supernatural, or is that like just a fake thing a fan thing someone made up?
I never actually saw that episode, but I want to say it was real because like it does have Jensen Ackles. Hold on. But once again, we derailed. Supernatural Scooby-Doo episode. Season 13, episode 16.
It's legit. Wow.
Animated World of Scooby-Doo, where they join forces with the Scooby Gang to solve a ghostly mystery.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and there's pieces of it on the internet.
Okay. All right.
But I mean, like, just the way that it's drawn is just like, I really hope it's real. it's just really well drawn.
By the way, and speaking of well drawn, this art is really cute.
It is. It is. They did a very good job. It's art. It's so cute.
Right, exactly. It's just nice that she'll spend the night with her old dads.
We're not too old yet, I hope. I'm an undead creature. You're a pink bat.
I nodded with a chuckle. As I laid out each additional ingredient, I also found a small paper bag wrapped around a large bottle. I slid the wrapper off and held up the bottle, my smile widening as I took in the label. Oh, honey, you didn't.
Oops, guess you saw my little surprise.
Blood wine? And an A-positive vintage, too. Oh, it's been too long since we had some at home.
I guess you're a vampire bat.
Dear, you shouldn't.
Of course I should have. You've been so worried, so I thought we could, pop a glass or two once the dinner is over. Curl up, put on a movie.
Netflix and chill.
Like the kids say.
Oh, maybe have a Halloween date night with our daughter who's coming for dinner.
No, I assume this is after dinner when she's left.
Like, if I'm going home for, like, a night for dinner with my family, I'm gonna spend the night. But that's only because my family is, like, super far away from me.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Right. And I know Bea is, vegan these days, but she's not of age anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem.
It was very thoughtful, sweetie. But we need to get through dinner first and foremost.
Spooky ringtone.
Bartholomew's ears perked up at the personalized ringtone, and his spectral body shimmered with surprise. He reached into his jeans and pulled out his phone, already giddy with excitement.
Speak of the devil! Here, I put her on video, so we can all chat. I can do that now.
Oh, she's so cute.
Hey, you dads. It's me, your favorite hellhound. Hope you're ready for spooky as heck Halloween.
Bella, honey, how are you? Everything okay? Your flight arrived on time and all that? So if she's flying in, surely she's spending the night.
Oh, do you perchance need us to come pick you up? Those rideshare apps you kids use these days seem so sketchy to me. Oh, so it's perfectly fine if you'd rather have someone you trust get you. Oh, Dad, don't worry. I'll just set the car on fire. Dad, come on. I can handle finding my own way home. Science, I've already got it all handled. We're already en route right now.
Is she bringing the girlfriend?
Probably. We? I just answered his question.
Yeah.
Oh, I told you before about Mozzie, right? Mozzarella? Mozzie. Mozzie! Say hi to my dads! Hello. You can call me Mothigan or Mozzie. Whatever you prefer.
She's so cute!
She's like a tiny Mothman. Oh, yeah! She's a friend you made during your nutritionist course, right? Is she majoring in sports science as well?
Friend or girlfriend?
They were roommates. Not quite. She's on the applied witching track. Her family kind of has a tradition of producing witches. And actually, she's also the girlfriend I've been telling you about. Surprise!
I guess she didn't share the name of the
Right.
girlfriend.
Why wouldn't you? Like, that would be like the first thing I ask. Is like, oh, you have a girlfriend? What's her name? What's her age? Like, what is she majoring in? Like, I want to know everything about her. Tell me!
This is why you're not a parent.
This is why I'm not a parent. We started dating a few weeks ago. Anyway, her family was busy doing some kind of big boring witching event or whatever. The annual witching hour. Yes, it's actually tedious, but flying on a broom in the autumn evening can be terribly exhausting. I'd much prefer to spend the night in. So I told her to come home with me for the holiday.
She's clearly the himbo.
Yeah. Sorry to impose like this. Baela said it would be okay for me to come by. Well, it's a little last minute. But if you're already here, I suppose we can make it work. Yay! We'll be there in about 30 minutes. I should probably get back to watching the road.
Wait, are you driving?
What the fuck? Love you both! Beep, click. Huh, well, that's Baela for you. So spontaneous as ever, right, babe? She was driving? Bartholomew's dubious response was a bit lost to me, as I had already dived back into the kitchen and was pilfering through our pantry for any culinary alternatives. We only had half an hour. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear! Babe? Brussels sprout? Glasses and bottles clinked together as I jumped up to the higher shelves. My stool never reached quite high enough back there, and at 49 I wasn't half as nimble as I once was, but panic had started swirling throughout my mind. Maybe we could still make this work. A cauliflower bake isn't exactly high-end, but I took the tofu and some of these peppers. Climbing up high while reaching further back into the pantry, I felt my feet begin to lose their grip. I slipped and scrambled against the shelving, feeling myself beginning to fall. Oh no, no. With a thud, I fell backwards, my fur ruffling in the spectral arms of my husband. Oof, whoa, Winnie. Honey, what's going on? You look like you're about to blow a fuse in here. Don't you see? It's the food! If we need more food, we can just run back to the store real quick, babe. Barky, it's not just how much food, it's the quality. Pumpkin and pie? Sorry. There's like the tiniest little space between the K and the I-N, and I was just... My brain immediately thought it said pumpkin and pie. Oh my god. This is why I'm dyslexic, folks. Extra firm tofu? Cauliflower from the sales section? I like cauliflower, though. That's not really what I meant! Look, Baela had her girlfriend was from a witching family. That means high-class traditional Halloween dishes with brains, eyeballs, and all that. Meanwhile, all we got is a bunch of vegetables and a slab of tofu.
I mean, maybe she's vegan too?
Maybe, yeah. It's like, I don't want to eat no fucking eyeballs, man.
Good for a little homestyle vegan food, but that's no way to impress your daughter's girlfriend, especially not in little old houses that people think is still a crypt.
Okay, you spiraled real fast, buddy.
Bartholomew looked at the floor for a moment, still listening along with his gaze. Bella had never brought any of her girlfriends home before now, and even if it was last minute, making a subpar meal was out of the question.
Order in.
I mean, honestly. Alrighty then, let's improvise. That's a good attitude.
The Bargus jumped back into the kitchen and was going through the grocery bag he placed on the countertop just minutes prior. I followed out.
What?
What?
You just skipped really quick. Oh, why is it going? Oh, okay.
Feeling a surge of self-confidence coming back to me.
Okay.
Sorry, there we go.
That's okay. You said brains, right? Well, cauliflower is sort of a brain shape. And, tofu could be used for the eyes. Might be hard to make it into a ball, though. I mean, if you it's super firm tofu and you have a melon baller, you're good to go. Just pit out the middle of it and, maybe put an olive in there. There you go. Tofu eyeballs.
I fluttered around him, feeling more and more animated with each word. With a snap, I popped open one of the utensil drawers as well as this and started searching. We can use the ice cream scoop for the tofu. This small one should work wonders. As for the brain, the shape is good, but the color isn't quite right.
Food coloring, dude.
Marinade?
Maybe.
Yeah, marinade's good.
Maybe. My mind felt like it was finally kicking into gear as each item was slapped onto the counter. Barky had a tendency to make every idea feel like a good one.
It's a good thing to have, I guess.
I ran back to the pantry and brought back a bunch of jars, placing them down with everything else. We're gonna use everything in this fucking pantry! Some kind of tomato sauce, or the brain will look nice and ghoulish, don't you think? And some black olives and peppers for the eyes?
What did I fucking say?
You called it.
What did I fucking say?
To give them the classical dead stare. Reminds me of those fancy dinners at my mother's table.
Oh, and maybe I could get some cider for the kids too. Deep red and bloody, just like our wine. Or just get regular cider and put food coloring in it.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, but will you have time?
I can sprint there and back, no problem. It'll just be 15 minutes, I promise. Hope I don't get carded, yuck.
My husband practically leaped out of the kitchen, pulling his shoes back on, tail wagging with excitement.
Why does a Bargus need shoes?
We were both starting to get on in the years, but he had been taking exceptional care of his body with exercise all the same, whereas I would get drunk on a bottle of blood wine every night.
Oh, okay, babe. See you in a bit. Yuck.
With a kiss on the cheek and the slam of the screen door, I could see him galloping down the driveway and out towards the main road. Our little neighborhood was a bit out of the way, but he always made a trip down to the grocery store feel so short. Back in the kitchen, I put everything together in small piles and tried to consider the best approach for the moment. Tofu eyeballs, cauliflower brains, and some blood-red cider. And of course, some pumpkin pie as the dessert.
Which you didn't roast the pumpkin, you put just pumpkin chunks.
Yep. Chunk and fucking seeds.
Well, it's not going to be very gourmet, but the appetizer and the main dish should still come together fine. Really, how much different is this from just what I was going to do anyway? I'm just going to put a little more effort into it and shape things to look scary. I reached for the ingredients Baki had brought home earlier, but stopped short. My hands were shaking uncontrollably.
Yeah, you really do have anxiety, bud.
Yeah, seriously. Maybe don't drink the wine tonight.
The knowledge that so much needed to get done in such a short period of time was getting to me, no matter how many pep talks my husband could give.
Uh-oh, is he gonna open the wine and start drinking and get drunk?
I rubbed my eyes a bit. The kitchen itself felt like it was moving beneath my feet, but every second that passed was another second closer to my daughter and her girlfriend coming home.
Okay, yeah, you have a serious anxiety problem.
Yep.
Oh, no. No need to panic, Winnie. Just stay grounded, says the bat. With a huff, I turned back to the piles of groceries and took notice of the thin black bottle that Barky had purchased as well. Blood wine.
Don't do it, Wings.
Liquid courage.
Yep.
As a pause, it was supposed to be a treat for later in the evening, but that didn't mean a sip or two now to calm my nerves wouldn't be acceptable. With a pop, I removed the cork and poured. I swished it within the glass, and after a sniff, took a drink. In just a few seconds, I felt my cheeks getting warm, and a gentle burn was in my throat. Blood may not have been a requirement to live as a vampire bat, but it was certainly a wonderful treat. Oof! Ooh! Wow! Good stuff, Barky. When he gets home, I'll have to give him a treat of his own. This is high-quality blood. A treat of his own, if you know what I mean. Wink.
Wink.
The bottle rattled as it went down onto the counter. I was feeling a good deal more confident now my eyes turned back to the task at hand. Okay then, so how about the eyeballs? That ice cream scoop should give just about an eyeball in terms of shape and size, but what about the presentation?
Take a smaller spoon and carve it out.
The peppers and olives could look like an iris and a pupil, but how can I make it all stick together? I guess ginger should work. What?
I don't understand that part.
I don't either. I mean, you just scoop out the middle. I mean, if you really wanted to, like, put the pupil onto it and you don't want to, like, carve into the tofu, just, like, get a toothpick or something.
Well, it says that right here, right now.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I applied the ingredients together as best as I could in a general eyeball shape and stuck a small toothpick through the center of the... hopefully hold it all in place until it could stand on its own. Still, I was sweating.
You also drink alcohol.
Yeah, that's you got them alcohol sweats, man.
I'd already lost 5 minutes of just the appetizer. A hand reached for the glass of wine and quickly let me take another small sip. My shoulders shivered with a gulp, but I pressed on.
Oof.
Oh no, you get drunk real fast.
Yeah, that was like what, 3 sips? Dang, child.
Unless like you're like each sip is like a quarter of the glass.
Yeah.
Alright, now that's done. It's a matter of the cauliflower. It's supposed to be the main dish. Tomato sauce will work fine for that. Yes, tomato sauce. Oh, I should probably still heat it up. Even because oven has the pie in there, but the microwave should be fine, right?
Why not put it on the stove?
Seriously, just saute that bitch.
The can of tomato sauce was quickly opened onto the cauliflower, and with a small spoon I poured it everywhere I could. On the counter, on the floor, on the ceiling. The white and red together would hopefully have a brain-like effect once it was all done heating up.
And you can still put the cauliflower in the oven with the pumpkin pie. That's not...
Maybe it's just a really small oven.
It's like an 1890s oven where you can only fit like one thing in at a time.
Yeah.
Into the microwave it went as I gently cradled the vegetable into its depths before entering the time and letting it run. I've been making good progress, but suddenly I felt shaky all over again.
No spices so far.
Yep. I mean, these are white people. Anyway. Tomato is a spice.
I took another slow sip of my little glass of blood wine and then another, but each one didn't seem to be helping me anymore. I looked back at the bottle, forlorn. Woof, oh dear. I may have overdone it just a bit, just a little. Little
Maybe
bit.
have some water.
Little bit. Little bit. Bit. Perhaps a couple minutes of rest. Just while my course finishes itself off and burns in the microwave. Ebb. Babe! My eyes blinked slowly until I woke with a start, my head bumping up against Bartholomew's jaw. We rebounded off of each other with a sharp noise echoing out. Oh, hold on, honey. Bring it down a notch. Everything's fine. They had plenty of that vegan-friendly cider at the store. How is cider not vegan? Whatever.
Are you gonna Google that now?
No.
We're in the the pause that you made it sound like you had stopped everything to Google it.
No, we're in this. We gotta finish this. A little food coloring, blah blah blah.
Oh,
My head was
sorry. Here.
A little food coloring, and bam! We have some bloody drinks for our under 21 guests. Am I right? My head was still cloudy, but through squinting eyes, I turned about until I could see the clock on the wall. We had a little less than 15 minutes, perhaps, even just 10 minutes until dinner would have to be served. And I'm still drunk.
Okay, so like, I don't know if this is like something other people do, but usually, at least in our family, you arrive before dinner's ready to be served.
Yeah.
So that you just like have time to chill, and then also everyone's there before you start, so that you're not waiting on anyone.
And also, like, the food is nice and warm and hot when it comes out, so
it's a little odd to me that like they're planning on serving exactly at the moment they arrive.
Right. It's like also like if I ever went to my mom's house and she was the queen of procrastination, would absolutely not have food ready and would make me help her. So
that's what children are for.
Exactly. But somehow, despite the urgency of the moment, I dozed off.
Because you were drunk.
And also, like, filled with anxiety. You took a drunk anxiety nap. No, I can't believe this. All I did was take a sip. How strong is this stuff, Barky? How strong is... Oh, wait. He seemed to have noticed the open bottle of wine on the countertop, along with a small glass I'd poured out. The glass was about half empty now, but he picked it up and gave it a sniff before downing the rest of it. He turned to me with a small smile. Winnie, you know you're a lightweight. You can't have too much of at once or you start getting sleepy. But no worries, we should be all good to go now, right? Because your metabolism is shit.
So essentially, Winnie needs to eat something first and then drink, and also drink slowly. Right.
And not be anxious about it. So just like give him like a little sippy cup that only gives him like a few drops at a time, you know?
And Bartholomew is me, whereas like I can fucking do shots for days.
Yeah. I mean, I drank that whole bottle of wine with like, and like, you know, like EB was getting progressively drunker.
Oh my god,
I was fine.
It was just so funny when she came back 10 minutes later and was somehow more drunk, and we were like, what happened?
She stood up. That's what happened.
No, it was that she laid down.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because
Evie.
I think the year before you had actually drank more than you did this past year for New Year's.
Only drank a bottle of wine last year, but I think the bottle of wine that I did drink was like a higher alcohol level. Because the one I had, which doesn't make any sense to me because I had fucking plum wine. But it also, I guess it was lower. I think it was like 10% alcohol. It wasn't really high. And
And then the huckleberry wine that I had last year, I'm pretty sure that was like 18-20% wine.
Yeah,
And I drank that whole fucking thing.
It was potent, and you drank it fast.
I did drink it fast. I was less I
Sippy?
was slower. I was slower with the plum wine, and I was very, very way less tipsy.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep.
Just as he said that, our smoke alarm started beeping over and over, and we both turned to the oven.
Wait,
The pie!
He's a dog. How did he not smell it burning before the alarm went off?
Did Bargus not have a sense of smell?
Maybe.
I gotta look up Bargus. I know I wasn't gonna look up shit, but now I'm gonna look up shit. What the fuck is a Bargus?
Oh, you don't know?
It's a beast dog.
I think it's an Irish beast dog. Or Scottish.
Yeah. British.
Is it British?
Legendary monstrous black dog, said to possess large teeth and claws, and sometimes to be capable of changing form. See also any ghost, wraith, hobgoblin, elf, or spirit. Yeah, it's Northern English, so it's closer to like Scottish, which is like Barghest.
Barghest.
The Barghest is a mythical monstrous black dog with large teeth and claws.
Alright, let's keep going.
No, sorry.
Inside it was smoking, and Barky ran forward, popping it open with a hiss, and a billow of haze poured into the kitchen. With a cough, I stumbled over to the windows and started airing out the room, with Bartholomew standing meekly to the side with the offending item on the stove. The crisis had been averted, but the pumpkin pie I'd been making from scratch earlier in the day was no more. Charred, burned to a crisp, completely ruined.
I mean, it was not doing great to begin with, given that you didn't roast the pumpkin and mash it, and
pretty sure there's seeds everywhere. It's gonna be a mess, dude. You saved a life today.
I ruined it all. Oh, Barky, I'm so sorry, honey.
Man, it's a good thing that you're married to a himbo and your daughter's a himbo.
Yeah, seriously. And I'm pretty sure the little moth girl is not gonna give a shit. She probably doesn't even like eat anything because she's a moth, and most moth species don't have mouths. Hey, it's okay. Look, the eyes and the brain are still good. You did really well with those while I was out.
Sure, with no spices.
Yep. Tomatoes a spice. And listen, we don't really need a dessert for Halloween, right? We got candy!
Yeah, basically.
All the candy!
That's not it. It's just, I feel like a horrible, horrible dad. A papa.
No, honey, no.
It's true! I ruined our daughter's first night back home! I can't cook! I made a huge mess! I don't even know how you're supposed to make vegan food!
Wait, how were they feeding their child before?
She wasn't vegan until she went off to school.
Yes, but in the beginning it says that Winston isn't very good at cooking.
Bone Daddy is, probably. That's my guess.
Why weren't you cooking, Bone Daddy?
Because Winston wanted to help. He wanted to feel useful. And she was so excited to introduce her fancy new girlfriend to us.
I just love that he's decided that this girlfriend is fancy based on very limited info about her.
Yeah, she's probably like... She's not going to a traditional Halloween night for reasons, so, you know.
I just made the whole thing fall apart! I felt myself slide to the floor of the kitchen as tears stung my eyes. I was sniffling, feeling utterly pathetic, but unable to stop. After a moment, I felt Bartholomew kneeling next to me. He gently started to pet my head until I finally looked towards him. He had a soft but worried smile on his face.
He's like, I like pets. You're gonna like pets.
Yeah. I don't know how to help you, but this helps me.
Yeah.
What's really going on, Winnie?
He reached forward with a gentle motion, wiped the tears from my cheeks.
If dinner doesn't work out, what are you afraid is going to happen? Why are you so frightened of not impressing this Mozzie girl?
Smart himbo.
Yeah.
Bone daddy.
Yeah.
I don't know, dear. Maybe it's more than that. If we don't make everything perfect, I'm afraid Bella won't want to come back home anymore.
So what this is that Wingston is really struggling with his baby leaving the nest for the first time and doesn't know quite how to deal with that.
Right. It's like, I want my baby!
And I don't know if I can bear that. She's only been gone a couple of months, but I miss seeing her so much, and well...
Even Rizzy's crying.
When I left home, it was like my relationship with my parents ended. We still talked, but it was different. And now I don't know how to stop the same thing from happening to her. To us!
No, come here. No. We're almost done with this. Give it.
Rizzy's so sad too.
Yeah. You're gonna stay here with me and stop crying. Alright, continue.
It was so scary being a dad at first. And we figured out bit by bit, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be now that she doesn't need me anymore.
I know what you mean, babe. I do.
Bartholomew held me. He buried my face in his chest, and I felt my tears falling bit by bit and onto his tank top.
This is a lot to resolve in a very short time before his kid comes with his
Yeah,
girlfriend.
it's like a Disney movie.
After a long silence, he started to speak again, and I could feel a change in his voice. It was more careful. He didn't want to say this wrong.
Growing up without a mom or dad was rough. Gonna be pushing 45 enough, but I still think about that sometimes. My uncle was a good man, but he didn't know how to raise a kid. Not really. So when you and I got married, I thought that was gonna be the best day of my life. I couldn't imagine anything else making me as happy as being with you. Then we adopted Bella, and it was like something changed. You made me so happy, honey. But she made us a family. So can a dog. She made me whole. She made us whole. Like we were always meant to be. So no matter who Bella decides to be with, or who she's with, we'll still be her family. And we'll always love her. That's never gonna change.
Oh my God, Barky. You're gonna make me cry again.
I didn't realize you had stopped, technically.
What's the matter, baby? We stayed on the floor for a minute, embracing and emotionally drained. But somehow I felt a lot better now. Barky himself had been getting teary-eyed during his talk, but it made me so happy to know that he felt willing to share all that with me too.
I hope he would after, however long you've been married.
Mm-hmm.
And who's to say this dinner is even ruined? We can still turn this around. Just a few minutes and I'll think of something. I promise.
Ding dong!
Yeah, like I said, a lot to resolve before they come.
Hide the pie.
That just sounds like a dead body.
I know, right? On it.
We scrambled up from the floor, making sure the windows were all open and fans blowing to get as much smoky smell out of the apartment as possible. With a sigh and a squeeze shared between us, we smiled and opened the door. Dads!
She cute.
God, she is such a dog. Bela, we miss you, sweetie. Come on in. You are definitely your father's daughter.
They definitely worked out together.
Yeah.
We're so glad you made it home all safe. From the front porch and into the kitchen, our daughter was hopping from foot to foot in her favorite bomber jacket. What drew my eye, however, was the arm held by her guest, the young witch that would be dining with us. Well, shy as anyone I'd ever met.
She's so cute.
Look at her.
She was wearing classical witching clothes, but they seemed to be generally hand-woven from wool rather than purchased from a designer. A few cute flowers also softened the entire look. Hastily hidden behind her was a small picnic basket, but she seemed to become flustered when I stared at it. But my attention and Barky's was quickly drawn back to our daughter. You're just gonna ignore your girlfriend entirely while she's here? I hope that's all right. She ran forward and gave us both a big hug, squeezing as tight as she could as the door closed and we all meandered towards the dinner table in the kitchen.
Oh my god, it's so good to see you both.
Hello.
Duh, totally forgot to introduce you to my super cute, super soft, super amazing new girlfriend, Mozzie! Pow wow bam! Check her out! She's got it all. Smarts and looks, right, you guys? Say yes or I'll kill you.
Nice to meet you both. Bella tells me all about you two, so it's wonderful to see her parents in person. Of course! It's a delight to have you here, Ozzy. I hope you enjoy your stay. In the meantime, Barky, we should probably get the dinner going right away.
Yeah, you're right.
The four of us gathered around the small table in our kitchen, with Bella eagerly setting it with plates and utensils as quick as she could.
Only she didn't forget that.
Mothigan herself seemed to be hesitant, but Barky helped to put her at ease, inviting her to sit between him and Bella with a glass of cider. Conversation was well underway when I started to bring the dishes out. And, I'm currently studying applied witchery, which of course requires a culinary course. It's interesting, so I went with Nutrition 101, which was mostly made up of sports people. And, of course, Bella was studying sports science, and so by coincidence, we became friends.
More than friends, girl. We became besties, like, right away, Dad. Studying, hanging out in the quad, the whole deal. We were basically inseparable, which is why I knew we'd be great fit once I asked her out.
Pretty sure I was the one who asked you out, cutie.
Well, maybe you did, but I was totally going to invite you to coffee the next day, or week, or maybe even the next month. Who knows? Time has no meaning. Well, I'm glad your time spent together has been so wonderful, regardless of how it took shape. That said, do you like your classes so far, Mozzie? Bella has told us all about her time in sports science, and it's clear she's found a passion there.
Which is fine, I guess. My family has been asking me to pursue it for a long time, so I don't want to let them down, you know?
Ahem!
With my stool brought over to the table, and all the dishes assembled, I climbed up with a couple hops, was able to swing myself up to the ceiling. It was a bit of an extra effort, but eating was always much more pleasant upside down, at least in my experience. Plus that blood one was still making me feel dizzy while standing upright. Sorry to interrupt, but we've got some vegan traditional Hallows Eve dishes ready to be served. I hope you'll enjoy them.
Come on, let's eat already. I'm starving. You could watch the food go down my throat.
Oh, yeah! Oh, we had airport food today. I need some vegan goodness. You found vegan food at the airport? I'm impressed.
Yay! Happy Halloween, everyone.
Quite so. Now, our appetizer this evening is a classic. Eyeballs with a tofu twist, of course. Dig in. The mix of tofu and olives plated together with some ginger to keep it all meshed. I still don't understand.
I don't either.
Were spooned out onto various plates. Barky was the first to take a bite, and I noticed his smile turn a bit pained as he bit in. I braced myself as well and chomped down on the appetizer and won.
Did you forget to take the toothpick out?
At first it didn't taste too bad. A bit bitter, perhaps, but not unusually, so for such a small dish. But with every chew I felt my jaw slowing down, my body openly rejecting the meal itself. Truthfully, it wasn't a bit bitter. It was only bitter.
I guess with the olive and then the ginger.
The ginger, yeah.
The black olives were a mistake to pair with peppers, and the tofu was just absorbing all the bite the ginger had to it. It was almost untenable, and I had to gulp hefty glasses of cider to work it down. With trepidation, my eyes turned over to Baela, while Bartholomew and I were taking our time with each piece. She had already cleaned her plate and was ladling more into it.
I think she just eats quantity, not quality.
Yeah, like, honestly, most sports people are like that.
Her fiery jaw was chomping down like no tomorrow, apparently ravenous. The airport cuisine had potentially been a blessing in disguise.
I need the carbs! Rizzy was not amused at that.
Mothican, on the other hand, seemed to be eating very delicately. She had only taken one eyeball onto her dish and was cutting it extremely small before eating each slice with her knife and fork.
It's because moths don't have mouths.
Her expression was pleasant, but I couldn't be certain if that was just politeness.
I mean, she's got it all over her face, so that means something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Winnie, babe, you okay?
Huh? What was that?
The rest of the food can come out next, right? You don't want to just serve the eyeballs without the main course. The main course of a singular head of cauliflower covered in tomato paste.
Sauce, yeah.
Yeah.
He leaned forward and whispered in a hushed, brisk tone.
And I could really, really use a palate cleanser.
Okay. Oh, right, yes. Next up, braids. A heated cauliflower and tomato mix of a gory delight. Please have a taste and feel free to share your thoughts. The cauliflower looked a good deal better than the eyeballs, all told. The brain effect was somewhat lost as the red sauce hadn't quite filled out each ridge as well as I'd hoped. That said, Barky seemed much happier with this than the prior dish. I lifted it to my mouth, and it realized that it was super cold because it had been sitting in the microwave for 30 minutes. The texture was wrong, right off the bat. No pun intended. I had brains a few times when I was a child at some fancy events, and this didn't taste anything like that.
I mean, I don't think it would, considering it's a completely different...
Yeah, people who think that cauliflower can be, like, mushed into, like, a meat-like paste are wrong.
It takes a lot of work to, like, get anything kind of meat tasting, and that's with, like, great quotation marks, because usually what it is that you become familiar with the spicing.
Yeah.
So.
But still, it was not unpleasant. The tomato and cauliflower is coming together pretty well, all told,
considering that it's going to taste like tomato because cauliflower doesn't taste like anything.
But then again, it definitely wasn't what you expect from a main course. A bake may have been a better choice after all, but it was this... But as it was, this was just sauce and veggies heated up.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. No,
Yeah,
not even
no spices. Because, tomatoes are totally a spice, right, Rizzy? She's staring at me like I've committed a grave sin.
Still, the girls were tucking into it a good deal, despite my misgivings.
Again, I think eats quantity over quality, and then
Yeah.
she's probably polite
Yeah, and doesn't have a mouth.
and shy.
Yeah.
The dinner had been a failure in being any kind of high-end culinary gourmet, but at the very least they both seemed to be enjoying their time with it. A smile came to my face as they finished their plates, apparently satisfied with the meal.
Woo! Okay, that was lovely. Thanks for making it so much of it, Dads.
Again, see? Quantity.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat all of it right the fuck now. Give it to me!
It's not like thank you for making it, it's thanks for
Yeah.
making so much.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat the shit out of this cauliflower.
The campus food is fine.
Oh, sorry, wrong person. The campus food is fine, but they never know how to capture that classic home cooking flavor of no spice. Not even not enough love in each dish, you know what I mean?
Yes, it was very nice. The flavor profiles were unusual, but I think the bitter and the savory balanced out with all the tofu and cauliflower in the end. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, this was a lovely dinner. Whew. Well, I'm glad to hear it. It was really just something we threw together. Not a big deal. Right, dear?
Uh-huh. Right, no big deal. Wait, but dinner isn't over yet. Mozzie, sweetie, didn't you want to have them try out your dish?
The moth witch, seemingly so hasty to get up from the table, immediately froze. All her fur started to stand on end, fluffing up across her body, with a blush and a squeak. Her wings unfolded and she dove under the table. Barky and I looked at each other in surprise. Sorry, I thought I saw a flashlight down there.
Oh no, sweetie, I'm sorry, I didn't. I wasn't trying to pressure you. It's just that you were so excited on the way over. I said you really wanted to share your food with my folks.
I know, but I didn't want to screw up your dinner. This is your family, and my stupid dessert shouldn't get in the way of you guys having a good time. Bartholomew turned to me with a sad, wry smile on his muzzle. I nodded and climbed down onto the floor, leaning down under the table to talk to Mozzie. Despite everything, I felt confident in this. You really should see how I fucked up the pumpkin pie. Mozzie, when our daughter said you were coming, I'll admit, we also got a bit nervous.
A bit.
A bit.
I also got a little drunk. Like, really fucking drunk. Like, you have no idea.
Real fast.
I'm surprised I'm not still drunk. I should be drunk for the rest of my life. We didn't know how you'd react to a little meal here, but it made me so happy to know that Bea had someone special in her life she wanted to share with us.
No matter what happens, as long as you're at this table, you're family, okay? That means you could never leave this table ever. That is not a metaphor, and I'm speaking literally here. You can't ever leave this table. If you do, you're no longer family.
Quite so. If you have something you want to share with us, you're more than happy to indulge. Mozzie closed her wings and slowly came out from under the table. She busied herself for a moment before bringing out the basket she'd been holding after coming in. Her face was still filled with a heavy blush, but she seemed to be brimming with a fascinating excitement. Excitement.
Are you still drunk?
I'm having a stroke. Excitement.
Oh, okay, then do you smell toast?
No, I smell Rizzy. Aww.
That's so cute.
With a flourish, she removed a blanketed covering, revealing a ghoulish face beneath the set deep in the pie dish. With just a whiff, I could tell it was going to be absolutely stunning dessert, as brown sugar and baked fruits filled my nostrils. Delicious. This is a take on an old recipe my grandmother taught me. Face pie with cherries and blackberries as the filling. No eggs or milk, of course. I wanted to make sure it kept with Biela's diet.
Okay, so she's also not vegan.
Yeah, which is surprising because she's a moth. Well, I wonder if she eats insects, you know? Because, I don't know. It's interesting.
I mean, you've also said moths don't have mouths.
Yeah. Moths, like, I don't understand, like, I don't know what a moth would be considered. A breatharian?
Oh my god, I can't believe you brought that up.
Listen, the only there's only one species of anything on this planet that could possibly be a breatharian, and it's a fucking moth. Okay? Aw, that looks so good, Mozzie!
Thank you, dear. I haven't really had anyone to try it yet, though. My family doesn't really care about home cooking. In fact, they've kind of been pushing me to go into witching instead of pursuing culinary school. But it might not be very good, so you don't need to force yourself to eat it.
You're gonna get eaten the fuck up if you go to culinary school, my love.
Bartholomew smiled at me, and I nodded. Our little disaster from earlier might come in handy after all. Actually, Mozzie, this pie looks just like the thing we need. We were going to make a dessert too, but, well, you can see how our pumpkin pie turned out.
I thought they hid the pie.
They did. Apparently. Burned black as a cauldron.
Oh my, I thought it smelled a bit smoky in here, but didn't want to say anything.
See, she could smell it when coming in, but apparently Barky could not.
Listen, when dogs get older, sometimes they don't have scent anymore.
Wait! We have 2 pies and you didn't tell me?
Again,
One is literally charcoal.
Quantity.
One is literally charcoal, but she's also a hellhound, so I don't think it matters to her.
Well, yes, but it's not it's basically not, crunch, 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 crunch. Before we could even stop her, Biela had pulled 2 slices out of each pie and was biting down on each of them bit by bit. The burned-out pumpkin pie seemed to catch even further fire as it entered her hell-held maw, while Mozzie's fruity pie seemed to just brown a bit.
I wonder if all she can taste is fire, so it doesn't matter what the fuck she puts in her mouth.
Maybe.
She's just like, sustenance!
Despite that, however, she seemed to be enjoying them both equally. She'd never been a picky eater, but after spending enough time away from home, it had somehow slipped my mind how often we had to stop her from eating charred toast or burned veggie bits.
Yeah, so she can't taste. She can't taste.
Yeah, she has no taste buds. It's just fire.
Yeah.
That was good, Mozzie. And I can't believe you didn't let me have some of this, Dad's. God, starving me. What the fuck? You know how much I love my food extra well done.
We do, but we try not to serve it that way to guests. I suppose it did slip our minds that you had a preference for the more smoldered side of things.
Indeed. Oh, you don't know. You don't need to try eating ours, Mozzie. It really isn't edible for anyone that doesn't have a furnace going inside their guts. All I taste is fire!
Well, if you insist, but Biela makes it look so good.
No,
Honey.
really don't.
How do you guys make out if her mouth is made out of fire? Mouths don't have mouths. Mouths don't have mouths. Mouths don't have mouths.
That's how they don't make out.
Yeah,
They just don't.
that's
We gathered around the table and each enjoyed a pie that Mothican had prepared, hugging one another and joking the whole while. It was delicious, as expected, but the nostalgia and warmth that the table seemed to hold with all of us here was more filling than I had ever anticipated. Years ago, we had adopted Bayella. Bartholomew said that made us whole, but at least tonight I could feel that wholeness gaining a new depth. Our family was all here tonight, this Halloween evening, and as we shoveled slice after slice of pie into our mouths, we found family in one another.
Aww.
Aww.
That was really cute.
That was.
It's not so much a game as it is a visual novel, but
It is very much so a visual novel.
But
and
it
I'm
was-
sure if I went to go look at the description, it would say visual novel.
but it was very enjoyable. I really liked that.
Yeah, that was. The art was fantastic.
The
Like,
art-
I really, really liked the art.
And the characters were
Yeah.
well done in the kind of time frame it had. It
Yeah.
did a good job of making you care.
Yeah. Like, it was short and sweet, like, emphasis on the sweet.
Yeah, and I also really like the fact that we get to see some like queer parents.
Right. Yeah. So it's I think there's actually a lot of queer games in this bundle, in both the bundles probably.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really nice to kind of have that. And I do appreciate that they didn't have a goth character.
Oh my god,
Like
yeah.
how easy that would have been to like have would be like a goth character. Like the goth character is like the token human of the group, you know?
Yeah, no,
Oh.
it was really nice. I really enjoy it. Good job, Tiny Sam and High T.
Yay! You guys are
Yay,
great.
love
Yeah, no,
ya.
that was really sweet. That was really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining Bond and I for Short Game Saturday as we played Scary Gourmet by Tiny Sam. If you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, a follow, and ring that notification bell so you know when the new episode drops. Please refrain from any hate toward us or the game developers. The devs worked really hard to make this game happen, and they deserve our support. Because anyone who just wants to impress their daughter's new girlfriend deserves all the support. That's all for now, folks, and we'll see you next time.